This morning, you probably lied. Not a big one, a small one. Someone asked how you were doing. You said fine. You weren't fine. You just didn't want to explain. Now imagine that lie had a color. Imagine it flashed across your face the second it left your mouth. No hiding it. No taking it back. Every lie visible to everyone all the time. That world sounds like a nightmare. But the real answer is far stranger. That world already almost happened. And the reason it didn't tells you something unsettling about what you are. Start with a simple question. How often do you actually lie? Not the big dramatic lies, the small ones, the reflexive ones. In the 1990s, psychologist Bella DePaulo asked people to keep a diary of every lie they told, big or small, for a week. The results surprised even her. Most people lied once or twice a day, not out of malice, out of maintenance, keeping relationships smooth, keeping conversations short, keeping the peace. You do this too. You just don't call it lying. You call it being polite. So picture the visible lie world again. Every one of those small deflections lit up on your face like a warning light. Your coworker asks if you liked the presentation. Flash. Your partner asks if you're upset. Flash. Your friend asks if the haircut looks good. Flash, flash, flash. Within a week, that society collapses. Not because people would stop being honest, because honesty at that volume is unbearable. Relationships are not built on constant, unfiltered truth. They are built on a careful mutual agreement to let some things stay soft around the edges. This is where it gets stranger, because deception isn't a flaw humans developed by accident. It's older than humans, much older. In the 1980s, primatologists Richard Byrne and Andrew Whiten spent years studying wild primates and noticed something odd. Certain species didn't just compete for food and mates, they deceived each other to get them. A young baboon would fake a distress call to scare an older baboon off a food source, then eat the food itself. A chimpanzee would hide a smile of excitement over a hidden food cache, keeping its expression neutral so rivals wouldn't notice. Byrne and Whiten called this the Machiavellian intelligence hypothesis. The idea was radical at the time. Primate intelligence, they argued, didn't evolve mainly to solve puzzles or find food. It evolved to navigate social deception, reading other minds, predicting what someone else believes, then sometimes manipulating that belief. Sound familiar? It should, because that same skill sits underneath almost everything you do socially today. Think about what it actually takes to tell even a small lie. You have to understand that the other person doesn't know what you know. You have to model their expectations. You have to predict how they'll react to the truth versus the version you're about to give them. That is an extraordinary amount of mental machinery running quietly every single day without you noticing. Children develop this machinery astonishingly early. Psychologist Kong Lee has spent decades studying when kids start to lie. Not when they're taught to, when they figure it out on their own. His research found that most children begin telling their first strategic lies around age 2 or 3, right around the same time they develop what's called theory of mind, the understanding that other people have thoughts different from their own. Here's the twist nobody expects. Lee's studies found something else too. Kids who lied earlier and more skillfully tended to score higher on certain cognitive tests. Lying wasn't a moral failure showing up early. It was a cognitive milestone, a sign the social brain was switching on. So if lying is this deeply wired, this early, this universal, why does getting caught still feel so catastrophic? Because your body was never built to hide it well. Psychologist Paul Ekman spent his career studying what he called micro-expressions, tiny involuntary flashes of true emotion that cross the face in a fraction of a second, even when someone is actively trying to conceal how they feel. A flicker of fear before the calm answer, a flash of contempt before the polite smile. Your face is constantly leaking information your words are trying to suppress. In other words, lies were never fully invisible to begin with. Humans have just gotten extremely good at not looking too closely. That's the real function of the world you live in, not a world without lies. A world with a shared, unspoken agreement to not flip on the light. Consider how much of daily life depends on this. The compliment you give a friend's questionable haircut. The enthusiasm you fake for a gift you didn't want. The "I'm fine" you give a stranger asking how your day is going. Researchers who study these moments call them pro-social lies. Deception used not to harm, but to protect a relationship, a feeling, a moment of connection. De Paulo's later research found that these small, protective lies made up the vast majority of everyday deception. Not manipulation, maintenance. Take that away, and you don't get a more honest society. You get a more brittle one. Every social interaction becomes a courtroom. Every compliment becomes suspect. Every relationship starts absorbing thousands of tiny, unnecessary wounds that a small, kind lie used to quietly prevent. And yet, here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. You are already living in a version of the visible lie world. It just didn't arrive the way you'd expect. Look at your phone. Every profile is a curated exhibit, a version of a life edited down to its best angles, best days, best lighting. Not always technically false, but rarely the whole picture either. Psychologists have started calling this a lie of omission at scale, an entire platform built on quietly leaving things out. The strange part is, everyone knows this is happening. Everyone scrolls through it anyway. Everyone keeps posting their own curated version too. It's the visible lie nightmare, except instead of collapsing society, it just became the new normal. The flash of dishonesty didn't destroy connection. It just moved online, got a filter, and got scheduled for 7 p.m. So maybe the real discovery isn't that humans are dishonest. It's that honesty was never really the goal. Trust was. And trust, it turns out, doesn't require the truth to be visible every time. It requires just enough truth, delivered with just enough care, to keep people close instead of pushing them away. Which brings you back to this morning. Someone asked how you were doing. You said fine. Maybe that wasn't a failure of honesty at all. Maybe it was 10,000 years of social intelligence quietly deciding the truth could wait.